RP, we used to have conversations on TV, off TV, more colorful ones were usually off TV, about Trump and about politics. What are you feeling about this moment right now? What do you think is happening? Just outside of just the Latino community, what do you think is happening in this country?
I think people are waking up, and that's a really good thing, Nicole, because unfortunately, COVID has made people wake up. And despite what that man is saying out on his rallies, his unprotected rallies, we know the truth. We see the headlines every single day. We see and hear the exhaustion of our frontline workers, of our medical workers, of, our EMT workers. We know the truth. And I hope that the truth speaks power to the polls come November 3rd. The good news is that over 5 million Latinos have already voted, but we still need more. There are 32 million Latino voters eligible to vote this year. This year, we have the power to change the outcome of this election. We need to know that. And we need to know that all the misinformation that's out there, we're not buying it. We're smarter than that, and I want to talk to all the Latino Americans out there because, there are a lot of people from different countries who have come here, but the majority of the Latinos here are Latino Americans, American born. And their most important issues are healthcare and the economy. And COVID is intertwined with that. You can't separate the two. And what this president has done during this pandemic is shameful. It's near criminal. And all those Latinos and Latinas out there that say, well, you know what, after the pandemic is over, we're going to count on him to fix the economy. He can't fix it now. How the heck is he going to fix it later when we're deeper in a hole? I have friends who have small businesses, Latinas who have small businesses, who have worked their skin and bone for the American dream, and it was happening. And now COVID hit. It's gone. Their businesses are closed. It's as if there was an avalanche coming, right? And the mayor of the town said, don't worry, it's going to go away. And as the snow is coming down and smothering people and killing all the people in the village, this is what Trump has done. We can't rely on him for 4 more years. He can't do it now. How do we expect him to do it later? It's not going to happen. And I just want to tell all the Latinas out there, we can have the power. No, we do have the power, to change the outcome of this election. We know, I know, and you know, as head of your households, if you go out and vote, every single member in your household is going to follow you and vote. We know that. That is a fact. So use your power. She se puede. She se puede. They know what I'm talking about. Not si se puede. Yes, we can. Yes, she can. And we will. We will do this, Nicole. It just boggles my mind how he just says, it's going to be over. Don't worry about it. Oh, what was the other day he said? I can't wait to get back to my life. Really? Really, Trump? Neither do we can't wait either. You haven't had a plan to fix this. You haven't had a plan to do anything about these except lie and deny, and people who are saying that he's a macho man, that's the type of macho man I do not want to have. Well,
I want to ask you about that. I want to ask you said that the disinformation, what kind of disinformation? What are the big lies that are sort of being mainlined to the Latino community from the Trump side?
Well, one is that, the one that has been disproven every single time is that Joe Biden is a socialist. He beat the socialists. Okay? He's not someone's Trojan horse that's going to allow them to take over. No, this is Joe Biden, who's been tested and tried and has come out to be a man of his word time and time again. So that is just a hoodwink, a gaslight that the Republicans have been putting out there. The Republicans for Trump, because there are a lot of Republicans that are not for Trump. Thank you very much. But the Republicans that are for Trump and the Trump campaign have put that misinformation out there because they know that that is a great fear of a lot of Latino Americans. And it's understandable. A lot of them have come from countries that had dictators and have socialists. Well, you know what? If you're afraid of that, don't vote for Trump. You know,
well, that's what doesn't make sense to me. Right, and he's the one with the autocratic tendencies. He's the one that left Puerto Rico to fend for itself after a devastating hurricane. He's the one that sees fit to cage children, not as an unintended consequence, but as the purpose of a policy to keep migrants from coming to this country. Do those issues matter, or is it more of an economic-focused, beat COVID-focused message that you think matters in the final days?
Those issues matter, but I think it's about the economy and healthcare, you know, and he failed at both. I mean, there's a case at the Supreme Court right now to eliminate Obamacare. What's going to happen to all those people who are on Obamacare? You know, it's crazy. And then all of those people who say he's such a great guy for the economy, look what he has done to the economy. Really, how's that working for us right now? Okay. And he hasn't done anything. He did not take the responsibility. He could have taken charge. He could have set a mandate. He could have set out a plan, and we wouldn't be the worst country in the world right now with our COVID numbers and our COVID deaths. You know, he left it up to the governors. He did not step in as a true man, as a true macho man would. He did not do that. He failed. He failed. He failed. Each and every time this man has failed American people. You know, yes, those other issues are very important. But right now, during this critical time, this pandemic, right now it's the economy and healthcare, because so many people are suffering. So many people are scared. So many people can't pay their rent. So many people are on food stamps for the first time. And all this is not getting out there, and it needs to get out there, because you know what? We're intelligent human beings, and we will not be fooled.
Why do you think it isn't getting out there?
I get hysterical when I talk about this man.
I love it. But why do you think, this is my last question, why do you think it isn't getting out there?
Well, I think that, you know, I think a lot of people rely too much on social media, you know, and there's some really great people out there. I want to say hello to my fellow social media friends who are fighting the good fight, you know, that are trying to combat that. But I think that social media really has done a disservice, and they are not sitting down and reading the New York Times or reading the Washington Post. They're not taking the time to do their homework. And we need to do that. We're better than this. And we can overcome this man, and we can eliminate him and vote him out of office, you know. And I also want to say to all the Latinas and Latinos who are considering Trump, I have nothing personally against you. I don't want to ridicule you. I don't want to put you down. I just want you to do your homework and see the truth. And once you do, you will be voting this man out of office come November 3rd.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.